Meghan and Harry's openness about mental health is more important than ever. We're shining a light on the Duchess of Sussex's courage ahead of World Mental Health Day on the 10th of October. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, bravely opened up about having suicidal thoughts while pregnant with son, Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, during her tell-all interview with Oprah Winfrey. It was one of the most emotional moments in the chat, and her candor immediately sparked a conversation about mental health. "Look, I was really ashamed to say it at the time and ashamed to have to admit it to Harry, especially because I know how much loss he has suffered, but I knew that if I didn't say it, then I would do it," Meghan told Oprah. "I just didn't want to be alive anymore." Meghan explained that the relentless, negative media coverage of her meant she felt extreme distress. But she went on to confide in her husband, Prince Harry, and then reached out for help from a professional. Her story is one of resilience, and has made big waves in terms of lessening the stigma around mental health. Her courage carried even more weight for coming at a time when the whole world was going through a pandemic. According to the Office for National Statistics, depression rates doubled since the pandemic began, thanks to the stress and loneliness that lockdown brought for many. And in the US, KFF revealed that 4 in 10 adults reported symptoms of anxiety or depression since the pandemic began, compared with 1 in 3 adults from January to June 2019. Meghan speaking out about her experience with depression and suicidal thoughts encourages others to do the same. While her story of success through speaking out about her feelings and coming out the other side gives people going through similar situations a glimmer of hope, it teaches us that there is no shame in speaking out about our mental health. And it teaches us that sharing our problems with loved ones and healthcare professionals can help you feel better. One of the most emotional moments in Prince Harry and Meghan's tell-all interview with Oprah is when Meghan opened up about the suicidal thoughts she experienced during her pregnancy with Archie. Meghan explained that the relentless, negative media coverage of her and the palace's unwillingness to refute false stories caused her distress. She also said her request for mental health care was denied by the royal family. When she then went to the palace's Human Resources Department, she said she was told they could not help her, as she was not a paid employee. Meghan's account paints a bleak picture of royal life, and further elucidates the effects of the UK's harmful and racist tabloid press. But her story is also one of resilience, and helps to eliminate the stigma around and bring broader awareness to mental health issues. To understand more about the impact of Meghan's story, I spoke with Elena Newman, a professor of psychology at the University of Tulsa, as well as the research director at the Dart Center for Journalism and Trauma, a project from Columbia University that trains journalists on how to report about trauma, mental illness, and conflict. I see it as powerful and courageous. It's incredible in terms of addressing the stigma of suicidal thoughts, because publicly talking about this is very important. The interview can raise the dialogue. Some people have such shame and keep it secret. The fact that Meghan said she sought help and then that was thwarted. That also addresses the issue of how we need to improve services and access to mental health resources for people who are suicidal. I don't know this for a matter of fact, but I'd be curious on the usage of suicide hotlines today, in response. I do think Meghan talking about suicide has incredible cultural impact. The same was true with Princess Diana and her struggles with eating disorders, that broke through a lot of stigma as well. There's a lot of distrust, stereotyping, shunning, and avoidance of those affected by suicide, including family members who've had loved ones die by suicide. It's something that people are uncomfortable with, and so they don't want to talk about it. That cultural milieu prevents people who need help from seeking it. And Meghan's interview can be very helpful in empowering people to do so. There are certainly more conversations about how the press frames trauma now. People are changing their thoughts about, for example, how you interview rape survivors. And people are thinking about the ethical issues and informed consent. In terms of suicide reporting, in particular, it means providing resources and not focusing on the details. In the 20 years that I've been doing this work, I think that there is more dialogue. People are doing more innovative reporting, even in the ways that they approach these stories. The next steps here are continuing to educate people about the myths about suicide. There's a conversation about increasing accessibility, too. I mean, if a princess asked for help and couldn't get help, what does this say about accessing mental health care? Thank you for watching. If you like our video, would you please help us like, share and subscribe our channel. Wish you happy to see our videos. Thank you very much.